When she disappears without warning and suddenly returns acting as if nothing ever happened, it's a test of your emotions, your patience, and most importantly, your value. She expects you to welcome her back instantly, to forget the disrespect, and to act like her absence meant nothing. This is where men lose power, by giving in too quickly, by proving they were waiting all along. But if you want her respect, you cannot play the fool. You must treat her return as an opportunity to reestablish your position. React wrong, and you become disposable. React with control, and you force her to see you differently. Number 1, stay calm. Never react emotionally. When she returns after disappearing, the very first trap waiting for you is emotional reaction. She expects drama. She wants either your anger, your accusations, or your desperate joy. Why? Because any emotional outburst tells her one thing: you were affected by her absence. If she sees that her silence shook you, then in her mind, she has control. And when a woman believes she has control, she will keep testing you again and again, each time pushing further to see how much power she truly has. The man who explodes with anger exposes weakness. He reveals that he was waiting, counting the hours, burning with frustration. His shouting is not strength, it is confession. It confesses attachment, dependency, and fear of loss. Anger is just another form of begging. It screams, "You matter more than me." On the other side, the man who welcomes her back, too warmly, too quickly, is even worse. He confirms that she can vanish for days, weeks, even months, and still return to find him standing in the same place, loyal and forgiving. This is not love. It is slavery. She does not see his kindness. She sees his desperation. And desperation kills attraction. Your greatest weapon in this moment is composure. Calmness is not silence born of weakness. It is silence loaded with strength. Imagine a king on his throne. If a servant leaves and later crawls back, the king does not rage, nor does he throw himself at the servant's feet. He remains unmoved, steady, and in control. That is exactly how you must carry yourself. When she speaks, do not rush to answer. Let your pauses breathe. Let her feel the weight of your indifference. Every second of calmness forces her to question, does he even care that I'm back? Has he moved on? Did my disappearance mean nothing? The moment she doubts her impact, the power shifts back to you. Control is not about suppressing feelings. It is about directing them. You may feel anger, you may feel relief, but none of that should leak out. You present only what serves your position. Think of a poker player. He could be holding the worst hand at the table, but his face reveals nothing. The less she reads you, the more she is forced to chase. Remember this: women test men not by words, but by reactions. The comeback is not just a reunion, it is an experiment. She is measuring your strength, your independence, your worth. Fail the test, and she owns you. Pass it, and she respects you more than ever. So when she comes back like nothing happened, your rule is simple. Be the storm she cannot shake, the mountain she cannot move. No raised voice, no desperate smile, only calm authority. That silence will echo louder than any argument, and it will remind her that you are not a man to be played with. Number 2, reclaim your position. Never stand where she left you. When she comes back, the most dangerous illusion you can create is that you were standing still, waiting for her return. If she feels like she left you in one place and found you in the exact same place, she will see you as predictable, safe, and, worst of all, replaceable. A man who does not move forward, when abandoned, is no king. He is a guard dog, tied to the same spot, loyal to a master who forgot him. Women are drawn to men whose lives expand without them. If she disappears for a week and returns to find you unchanged, she knows her absence carried weight. But if she returns to find that you were busy building, living, moving upward, her absence suddenly looks meaningless. You must show, not through bragging, not through desperate explanations, but through your presence, that you never paused your growth for her. How do you do this? By carrying yourself with the calm confidence of a man who owns his time. You are not instantly available. Your schedule is full, your energy invested in pursuits that matter to you. You don't announce this. She sees it in the way you answer, the way you act, the way you don't drop everything the moment she walks back in. Reclaiming your position means subtly reminding her, I am not waiting for you. You are the one re-entering my world. This shift is powerful. When she senses that you have not only survived but thrived without her, she feels the ground beneath her shake. Suddenly, she is the one chasing, trying to prove that she deserves a place in your life again. Understand this: attraction is not maintained by comfort, but by challenge. If she feels like she can leave and return without consequence, you become her safety net, something she can use at will. But when she realizes you are not standing where she left you, she is forced to adjust her behavior. She must rise to your level instead of dragging you down to hers. It doesn't take grand gestures. Even small signals matter. The way you take your time before responding. The way you mention a new project, a new interest, a new person in your circle. Not as a performance, but as a natural extension of your life. These subtle cues whisper, my life continued, with or without you. And here lies the paradox. The less you need her, the more she feels the need to prove her worth. Women are magnetically pulled to the man who does not beg for their presence, but instead offers a world already rich, already alive, with or without them. So when she comes back like nothing happened, never let her feel like you froze in place, waiting. Stand taller. Show movement. Let her see that her absence did not stop your kingdom from expanding. Because only then will she realize the truth. You are not part of her orbit. She is trying to earn her way back into yours. Number 3, use silence as a weapon. Let her drown in her own thoughts. Words are cheap. Anyone can speak, anyone can justify, anyone can cry or beg. But silence, that is rare. Silence unsettles. Silence is heavy. And when a woman who disappeared suddenly reappears, and you respond with measured silence, you create a power she cannot ignore. Think carefully. When she returns, she expects noise. She expects you to demand answers. Where were you? Why did you leave? Do you even care about me? She is prepared for these attacks. In fact, she wants them, because your questions confirm her importance. If you interrogate her, she wins. You show that her absence controlled your mind. But when your lips remain sealed, when your reaction is calm, controlled, and brief, the dynamic shifts. Suddenly, she is not the one being judged. You are the one she cannot read. And what a woman cannot read, she cannot control. Silence forces her into a prison of her own mind. Every second you don't speak, she wonders. Is he angry? Is he over me? Has he moved on? Does he not even care? Doubt is poison, and silence is the glass that holds it. She drinks it, sip by sip, until her confidence cracks. You see, silence is not weakness. It is strategy. A single pause in conversation can scream louder than 100 accusations. A calm, indifferent can echo longer than a furious lecture. Women are trained to interpret tone, body language, subtle shifts, but when you strip that away and offer only stillness, you throw them into chaos. The key is not to play mute out of fear, but to use silence deliberately. Respond minimally, but with presence. For example, she says, "I've been thinking about us." Instead of demanding to know what she thought, you let the silence breathe. Maybe a slow nod, eyes steady. That small gap becomes unbearable for her. She fills it with nervous words, desperate to understand what you're thinking. The more she talks, the more she exposes her motives. This tactic flips the script. Instead of you begging for explanations, she starts explaining herself. Instead of you chasing, she chases clarity from you. That is the essence of control. Remember, a man who reacts with noise looks emotional. A man who reacts with silence looks powerful. Power is not shown by how loudly you speak. It is shown by how calmly you withhold. So, when she comes back, like nothing happened, don't waste your breath proving how hurt or angry you are. Let your silence carve the message. I don't need to question you. You already know what you did. That unsaid truth is more punishing than any speech, and as she drowns in her own guilt, her respect for you grows. Not because you fought her with words, but because you defeated her with silence. Number 4, test her motives. Don't accept her return at face value. When she reappears, do not be fooled into believing her return is purely about you. People rarely vanish without reason, and they rarely come back without motive. Women, especially, are driven by invisible calculations. Emotional needs, social pressures, financial difficulties, or even the simple thrill of testing whether you are still available. If you assume her comeback means love, you are the fool in her game. The wise man does not reject her outright, but he does not welcome her blindly either. He tests, he observes, he listens not only to her words, but to the inconsistencies behind them. Because words are easy. Anyone can say, "I missed you." But the real question is, why now? Why at this moment? What pushed her back into your orbit? Sometimes she returns because her new adventure failed. Another man disappointed her, or reality was less exciting than she imagined. And now she comes crawling back, not out of respect for you, but out of convenience. If you accept her immediately, you tell her that you are Plan B, the safety net she can always fall into. Other times, she returns because she feels her grip on you slipping. She senses you are moving on, perhaps even entertaining other options. Her comeback is not about commitment. It is about reestablishing control. She does not want you free. She wants you available. This is why testing is essential. Do not interrogate her with desperation, but drop sharp, minimal questions that force her to reveal herself. What made you decide to reach out now? What changed since the last time I saw you? These are not emotional pleas. They are quiet probes, designed to pierce through her excuses. Watch her eyes. Watch the hesitation. The truth is rarely in the words. It hides in the pauses, in the nervous laughter, in the vagueness of her answers. A woman who is genuine will meet your gaze and speak with clarity. A woman who is using you will stumble, shift, and try to redirect. Your role is not to argue or scold, but simply to note the signs. The more you watch in silence, the more she exposes. Understand, allowing her back without scrutiny is weakness. It shows you value her presence more than your own dignity. Testing her motives is not cruelty. It is survival. Just as a king questions the loyalty of a knight who deserted him, you must question the loyalty of the woman who abandoned you. And here lies the power. When she feels that her return is not guaranteed, when she realizes she must prove herself, her respect for you multiplies. Suddenly, the roles reverse. She is the applicant. You are the gatekeeper. She is trying to earn entry into your world, not the other way around. So never accept her return at face value. Every comeback must pass through fire. If her motives are pure, the flames will only strengthen her bond. But if her motives are shallow, the fire will expose her and burn the illusion away. Either way, you win, because you refuse to be the fool who mistook her return for unquestionable devotion. Number 5. Set new rules. Never let the game repeat. If you decide to let her back into your life, understand this: the old order is dead. You cannot allow her to return under the same conditions that once allowed her to walk away so easily. If you welcome her back without change, you invite the same betrayal to happen again. And make no mistake, if the environment is the same, history will repeat itself. A man who accepts without boundaries teaches her that disappearing has no cost. She can vanish, reappear, and be forgiven like nothing happened. That is not a relationship. That is indulgence. You are no longer a man in her eyes. You are a doormat, a provider of endless second chances. Women do not respect men who lack standards. They exploit them. Setting new rules does not mean shouting ultimatums or threatening her with punishment. True authority is quieter, sharper, and undeniable. You make the terms clear through your actions, through your posture, through the way you engage. For example, you no longer drop everything to answer her messages instantly. You no longer tolerate vague excuses for vanishing. You no longer allow her to dictate the pace of the connection. Each adjustment communicates. Your behavior will not be accepted twice. Think of a king reinstating a knight who once deserted him. Would he allow that knight to return to the same rank, the same privileges? No. The knight must earn his place again, prove loyalty again, and live under stricter discipline. So it must be with you. Her return is not restoration, it is probation. This does not make you cruel. It makes you wise. Because here is the truth. Women crave boundaries. They test men endlessly. Not because they want weakness, but because they want to feel the strength of resistance. When you impose rules, you give her something solid to respect. Without them, she floats free, doing as she pleases, and secretly despises you for letting her. Your rules must be lived, not lectured. If she disappears again, you do not argue. You dismiss her permanently. If she breaks the terms, you do not complain. You enforce consequences through distance. This consistency is what makes the rules real. And paradoxically, the more discipline you show, the more she invests. A woman who knows she cannot vanish without cost will hold tighter. A woman who knows her actions are measured will act with caution. This does not weaken the bond. It strengthens it, because respect is the soil where attraction grows. So when she comes back like nothing happened, do not hand her the same script. Rewrite the script, set the stage, and let her know by your behavior, if you want to stay in my world, there are rules now. And once she feels those boundaries, she will finally see you, not as a man waiting for her approval, but as the man she must now earn the right to keep. When she comes back acting like nothing happened, the weak man gives in, the average man argues, but the strong man reclaims control. You have learned the rules. Stay calm, never show desperation. Use silence as a weapon. Test her motives and, above all, set new boundaries. These are not tricks. They are laws of power. Break them, and you invite chaos. Follow them, and you transform the dynamic forever. Remember, her return is not a gift. It is a test. And every test is your chance to prove that you are not a man who bends, but a man who stands. If you carry yourself with authority, she will see the difference. If you slip back into weakness, she will treat you as disposable. The choice, as always, is yours. If this message struck you, I want to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below. Tell me how you would react if she came back. Don't forget to like this video, share it with men who need to hear the truth, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss the next lesson. Power is not given, it is taken. And today, you have the blueprint.